भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्रोतर्षद श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय। नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंद। श्री गुरु साधुजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Ram Hare.
So continuing from where we left yesterday, we were uh, reading and discussing about the conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sanatana Goswami, and we saw how Sanatana Goswami, because he contracted one skin disease and was also feeling himself useless because he was from low caste. I mean, though not low caste, but because of association with Muslim, he felt like that, and therefore he thought he will give up his body in Rath Yatra. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, and we saw how he presented himself in a very humble way, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him and introduced him to all the devotees and like that. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went from Thakur Haridas's place. Okay. Here. Now, ei mato sanatano rahe prabhu sthane jagannathera chakra dekhi kare na praname. In this way, Sanatana Goswami remained there because he will not be able to go inside. He did not want to go inside also Jagannath temple. Therefore, he will see the chakra. So there is a Sudarshan chakra on the top of Vishnu temples. That is, if you cannot go inside, by having darshan of chakra is as good as having darshan of the Lord. So he used to do pranam from outside to the chakra. प्रभु आसी प्रतिदिन मिले न दुई जने इष्ट गोष्ठी कृष्ण कथा कहे कथक क्षणे. So like every day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to come there, meet these two devotees, Haridas Thakur and Sanatana Goswami. He will do Ishta Goshti, that is discussing Krishna Katha for some time, and then he will go. Divya Prasad Paya Nitya Jagannath Mandire Taha Ani Itya Avasya Dena Doha Kare. So every day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will bring prasadam, Jagannath's prasad for these two devotees, because both Haridas and they will not be able to get that. Both of them will not go inside the Jagannath temple. एक दिन आशी प्रभु दुहारे मिलिला सनातने आचंबित कहित लागिला. One day, when he came to meet them, suddenly he started speaking like this. And it was very astonishing for Sanatana Goswami when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this. What did he say? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sanatana deha tyage Krishna jadi paiye koti deha Krishna ke tabe chadite pariye. Hey Sanatan, if one can attain Krishna by giving up one's body, then I would like to give millions of body. If it is so easy, if this is the way to attain Krishna, then I would also like to do this. So Sanatana has not told this to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So therefore he is surprised. How did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come to know about this? देह त्यागे कृष्ण ना पाई पाइये भजने कृष्ण प्राप्तिर उपाय कोनो नाही भक्ति विनय. By giving a body, we cannot get Krishna. Because that was Sanatana's idea, that in front of Jagannath, in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I will give up my body, so I will go closer to Krishna. But he said, no, this is not the way. Paiye bhajane, how you can get Krishna? By doing bhajan. What is the meaning of bhajan?
Singing the glories of the Lord.
Singing the glories of the Lord. Anyone else?
Preaching.
Preaching.
Serving the Lord according to Guru Sadhu.
Yeah, sure. So, bhajan This comes from the dhatu bhaja. Bhaja dhatu is used when there is a service rendered to the Lord. So essentially bhajan means rendering service. Singing the glories is one of the way to render service to the Lord. But it is not restricted only to singing bhajans or songs. Devotional service, rendering service is also called bhajan. So paiye bhajane. So Krishna can be obtained by bhajan, by serving him. Krishna praptir upaya. There is no other way than bhakti to attain Krishna. Dehatyagadi jata sab toma dharma tamo rajo dharme krishnera na paiye marma. This thought of giving up the body is tamo dharma. So this desire to commit suicide is tamasic. It's very sinful. Sometimes people think, frustrated, let me give up this body. But by that, their distress will not get reduced, it will increase. Because that sin which they commit by committing suicide will result in more miseries. Okay? So this is never ever to be thought about. This is very sinful because we don't have right to give up the body which is given by Lord to enjoy or suffer our karmic reactions. If we are destined to suffer, we should complete that duration. We cannot by our own wish change. Then again you are doing further crime. Suppose somebody wants to run away from the prison. He commits more crime. So similarly you are trying to run away. Hey, so much misery, commit suicide. So already you are suffering because of crime. And now you try to commit more crime to reduce your suffering. This is not going to happen. So that is Bhakti vina Krishna kabhu nahe premodaye prema vina Krishna prapti anya hoite nae. Bhakti vina, without bhakti, one can never develop love for Krishna. Bhakti is the only way. Prema vina Krishna prapti anya naite hoite nae. And without developing love for Krishna, we cannot attain Krishna. Krishna is only attracted by when we develop love for him. He cannot be attracted by any other thing. So therefore, this is a prerequisite. And for prema, the only way to develop prema is bhakti, not karma kanda, not jnana kanda, only devotional service. Na sadhayati mama yogo, na sankyam dharma uddhava, na swadhyayas tapastyago yatha bhaktir mamorjita. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu supports his statement by quoting scriptures, Bhagavatam. So this is the way how we should also do. Whatever we say, we should support it by Shastras. We should never present our opinions. I think, okay, certain things we can present, like practical things, something. I think this room is sufficient for 100 people. That we can. But when it comes to philosophy, we cannot say, I think Krishna is not the supreme person. I think Shiva is the supreme. We cannot do like that. So, na sadhayati mam, the same purport. Krishna says to Uddhava, 11th canto, I cannot be obtained by yoga, by sankhya, by ordinary dharma, by swadhyaya, but I can tyaga, tapasya, but I can only be conquered by bhakti. Deha tyagadi tamo dharma patak karan sadhaka na paye tate Krishnera charan. This committing suicide, this tamo dharma is pataka karan, is the cause for attaining hell. Sadhaka na paye tate Krishnera charan. A sadhak will not get Krishna charan, lotus feet of Krishna, by doing that. Rather, he will glide down to hell because of this sin. प्रेमी भक्त वियोगे चाहे देह छाड़िते Preme Krishna mile seha na pare marite. So, one who is a premi bhakta, who has developed love for Krishna, when he is separated from Krishna, that time, out of love, intense love, and because of that pain of separation, which is ultimately not pain, which is another phase of spiritual happiness. This is very difficult to understand, but we cannot see in the material world. But that's a completely spiritual dimension. But that is what happens. So that separation of that pain of separation is so intense that he wants to give up the body because of separation, because he is not able to see Krishna, because not able to be with Krishna. But then, preme Krishna mile, seha na pare marite. But he get, because of that intense separation, that intense absorption in Krishna, by that he is able to realize presence of Krishna, and then Krishna appears. These two phases continue, Viyog and Sambhog. So, by that separation, he again gets Krishna, and then he doesn't want to give up his body. And then afterwards separation, and then he thinks, I'll give, and then by that intense separation, he gets Krishna. So therefore, he never commits suicide, never gives the body, but that type of feelings come in him. Then only it is allowed. There only it is okay, not otherwise. Okay. Gadhanurage raviyoga nayaya sahan tate anuragi vanche yapanamaran. One who is very intensely in love with Krishna, he cannot tolerate separation from the Lord. Therefore, such a person desires, let me kill my body, finish my body. What is the use of this, my living? So there is a similar verse spoken by one verse, Rukmini Devi in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Rukmini Devi, she was the daughter of King Bhishmaka. In Maharashtra there is a place, birthplace of Rukmini Devi. What is that place called? Kundalinipur. Kundalinipur. That is still there. So Rukmini Devi, she is actually eternal consort of the Lord. So she heard about Krishna and she developed a desire that I should marry Krishna. But her brother Rukmi, she was envious of Krishna. So he intentionally did not want her daughter to marry Krishna. Rather, he wanted to, he offered her daughter to Shishupal, who was very envious of Krishna. So then what Rukmani, when she became aware of this, that my brother is intent on marrying me to this Shishupal, then she wrote Krishna a letter through a Brahmana. And in that letter she wrote this one verse, that if I do not get your mercy, I will observe vows to reduce the duration of my life, and thus I will give up my body for hundreds of births. So actually this is the real love letter. Original love letter. And this is the original loving sentiment, that without you I will give up my body. And whatever else we do in this world, that's all imitation of Krishna and his consort. And in this world also we write love letters, and we also tend to think like that. If I will not be able to marry him or her, I will give up my body or whatever. So that's all. We are trying to imitate Krishna, actually, all of us. Because this lust is a transformation of that love which we have for Krishna. Therefore, lust is very intense. The most intense thing in this world is lust. People do anything and driven by lust. Why? And lust is omnipresent. Everyone has this. It is very intense. Emotions, everything are very intense. Why? Because this is perverted reflection of love for Krishna, which we have. So we have to now transform this lust into love, redirect it, purify it. That is a success. Otherwise, if we cultivate lust, then we will be suffering only. कुबुद्धि छाड़िया करो श्रवण कीर्तन अचिरात पावे तबे कृष्ण चरण. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised him, कुबुद्धि छाड़िया, give up this कुबुद्धि, wrong intelligence. Kara Shravana Kirtan. You do Shravana and Kirtan achirat, without any delay, Pave Tabe Krishna Racharan. You will attain Krishna's lotus feet. So we should also give up kubuddhi. So there are two types of buddhi, subuddhi and kubuddhi. Buddhi means intelligence. The intelligence which is directed by Shastras, which is ultimately Lord's words. That is subuddhi. And the intelligence which is directed by lust, which is acting to fulfill our lusty desires, that is kubuddhi. So, this is the first thing that we should do in devotional service. Purification of our intelligence. Because intelligence is the like the driver of our chariot. If the body is compared to a chariot, then this buddhi is like the driver and we are like passenger. So it all depends on the driver where the ratha will go. If the driver is good, he knows where to go, then he will lead the passenger in the right direction. Because the passenger right now is sleeping. So he has to wake up and he has to see that the driver takes him to the destination which he wants. Correct? So intelligence is our driver. So we depend on the intelligence where we will go. So if the intelligence is purified, then it will take our ratha, the passenger, to Krishna. And if the intelligence is not strong, is sleeping or wrongly directing, then it will take us to hell. So most of people, those who are not having subuddhi, not purified intelligence, by coming in contact with Shastras, with Krishna, their intelligence is leading them to hell. Like, people don't know what is right, what is wrong, what is beneficial for them, what is not. They do the things which ultimately is not in their real benefit. But they don't know. That is, their intelligence is not purified. Or sometimes what happens, the mind, because of the mind and senses being indulged in sense gratification and again, they become so addicted and so stubborn that they don't even listen to the intelligence. Like once we get addicted to something, cigarettes or pornography or whatever nonsense things, initially we think that yes, I am in control. Whenever I want, I can give up. But this doesn't happen. Why? Now once you become addicted, the senses and the mind, they have got that taste. And then so when the intelligence says, oh, I am suffering because of that, I need to come out of it, it is destroying me, then also senses don't listen. They have become very powerful. It's very common experience. People smoke and then they become chain smokers, even though they know it's going to cause so much harm, health. So written on the pack, smoking kills. Clear, it kills. Then also people smoke. Why? Because they have become godas. servant of their senses. They have no power. They are slaves to their senses. So we should never become slave to our senses. This is the worst thing which can happen to us. If we become slave to our senses, senses are going to take you to hell only. Their demands, kamadinam katina katida palita durnidesha. Their demands never end. Correct? You think, I will enjoy this time and then satisfaction and then nothing more. That's all. But that never happens. Their demands increase further, more and more and more. So we should never become Godas. And that's a real test and a real difficult thing. Everybody is a Godas. The sex, everybody is servant of sex. Such a powerful. So therefore at least regulated, not unregulated. Okay, that is understood that some sense gratification is required even to maintain the body. We need to eat something. Okay, sex is also permitted. Procreation is there. But under dharma, if at all has to be indulged in under a strict regulation of dharma, not unrestricted. Because under restriction, then and with the understanding that ultimately I have to come out of its slavery, then at least we will not glide down, gradually we will get purified. And there can be a situation when one is indulging in sex only for the sake of higher purpose, without any personal sense gratificatory desire. That is also a stage. Like Vyasadeva, how he is a story. So they're completely controlled. They are just for particular higher purpose. Some progeny has to be brought in for that purpose. That's also there. Otherwise, for ordinary people, at least sex is only actually meant, according to dharma, sex is dharma aviruddho kama bhut asmiya paradrashya. Krishna says, I am sex which is not against the dharmic principle. So sex is only meant for procreation, bringing forth good progeny. Within marriage only. That's the only dharmic way sex should be used. All this masturbation and all different types of sexual, this is all illegal, this is all illicit, this is all sinful. Unfortunately, because nobody is there to tell this, we already get addicted to all this and it becomes very difficult. So, as soon as possible we can come out of it is better. Otherwise, it will, our intelligence, our all good qualities are stolen by these things. They take out all good things from us. Decision power, everything. Because when you are a slave, you are not in control. You are a slave. Your sense will dictate, do this. And you will be forced to do that. And you can become monkey in the, when one driven by senses, he can do anything. In open place, he will run after women shamelessly. We see how this Nala, Kuvera, they were sons of Kuver and Hayagriva. So they were, bathing naked body with women. And Narad Muni came and shamelessly. So then Narad Muni, to teach them a lesson, he cursed them, become trees, stand naked, thousands of years. So once we become a slave to our senses, we can glide down to any level. So therefore, never ever, sense is only under restriction, whatever is required just to maintain this body is as per dharma, that's all. So kubuddhi and subuddhi. If we are able to keep our intelligence pure, then it will at least keep the senses and mind under control. And to keep our intelligence pure, we have to regularly hear from scriptures. Reading Shastra, hearing Shastra is what makes intelligence strong. This is the nourishment of intelligence. Because by that you keep on hearing what is right, what is wrong, what is right, what is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. This is what is the work of intelligence, to clearly know what is right, what is wrong. Okay, so that way your intelligence remain clear. I know what I should do, I know what I should not do. Many times people are just, they don't know, like masturbation. They don't know what is wrong, what is wrong. They just get into it. And by the time they realize it is harmful, there's no way, nothing can be done. They are addicted to it. So, Kubuddhi chhadiya kar shravana kedana chirat pave tabe Krishne racha. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says further, very important shlokas now. नीच जाति न है कृष्ण भजने अयोग्य सत्कुल विप्र न है भजनेर योग्य. In Krishna bhajan, in serving Krishna, a person born in a low family is not ayogya, is not disqualified. On the other hand, satkula vipra, a person who is born in a high family, Brahmana family, is not especially eligible, qualified to serve Krishna. No, that doesn't have any relation. That just the birth itself does not qualify or disqualify you from serving Krishna. Okay, this is a very important point. Therefore, in Krishna consciousness there is no bar. There is no that higher and lower based on birth or how much money one has or how much material intelligence one has. These are all mental platforms. They are nothing to do with bhakti. Bhakti is a work of the soul. Soul is not rich or poor. Soul is not high or low. So therefore they are not at all in consideration as far as serving Krishna is concerned. Yei bhaja sei bada abhakta hina chhar Krishna bhajane nahi jati kuladi vichar. Ye bhaje, whoever worships Krishna is bada, is highly praised. Abhakt heen chhar. And whoever does not worship Krishna is low class as far as bhakti is concerned. He may be materially intelligent, he may be materially rich or high born, whatever. But as far as spiritual life is concerned, if he is not serving Krishna, he is low class. And anyone who is serving Krishna, irrespective of his material qualification, he is high. Krishna bhajan nahi jati kuladi vichar. In Krishna bhajan, there is no consideration of jati, kula, etc. Dinera adhik daya kare bhagavan, kulina pandita dhanira bada abhiman. Okay, it has no relationship to bhakti. And then further, dinera adhik daya kare bhagavan. One who is humble, he easily receives mercy of Krishna. Dinera adhik daya kare bhagavan. Lord is more inclined to show mercy to those who are humble. Dina, who are humble. Kulina, pandit dhanira, bada abhiman. So, one who is born in an aristocratic family, one who is very learned materially, and one who is very rich. Generally, they are bada abhiman. They are very proud of their accomplishments. So, therefore, they become bereft. It becomes difficult for them to get the mercy of the Lord because they are abhimani. They are not. It's not possible for them to, with their heart, beg for mercy of Krishna because they feel, I am great, I am happy. So, with the heart, they cannot pray with full heart. Whereas one who is being humble and low class, uneducated, or these other things, generally it is easier for them to not be proud and thus very easily to be attracted to Krishna. And we see practically this in Krishna consciousness. Those we go to very simple people, generally they'll be, if we give prasadam, they'll be very respectful. Prasadam, great mercy. Whereas if you go to some rich person, like that, in general. But it is not absolute thing. We have examples of like King Pratap Rudra, great king, but very humble, without proud. And we can also see somebody like Prabhupada gives an example, beggar. He was carrying with him some half burnt firewood, but he was attached to that. And one can be, you know, proud even of whatever little he has. So pride should not be there. That's the essence. If one is rich, if one can be without pride, wonderful. Very learned, but without pride. Understanding that whatever I have is only Krishna's gift. Let me use it in Krishna's service. If I have been given something, let me use it in Krishna's service. And fully use it in Krishna's service. Otherwise, I will use it for something else. And that will block my way. It will go in my head. But if we use in Krishna's service, I am servant only. This is all Krishna's. I am a caretaker, watchman. That should be our attitude. I am a watchman. Krishna has put me a watchman to his property. It is not my property. I am a watchman of this property. So, a watchman, what he should do? He should take care of the property in a way that pleases the master. So, if we remain in that attitude, then it will not go into our head. We will remain humble and we will be able to get Krishna's mercy. Then there is a very nice verse in Bhagavatam to this effect. Viprat Dvishat Gunayuta Darvinda Nabha. If there is a person born in a Brahmana family and he is very learned, he has got those qualities of a Brahmana, but somehow he is so proud that he is not a devotee of Krishna, but he is a learned in Shastras, he knows so many shlokas, he is very sattvic, but averse to serving Krishna. Better than him is a person who is born in a Chandal family, dog eater's family. If that person is a devotee of Krishna, he is better than this Brahmana, born in a Brahmana family. Because that so-called Brahmana, who is not a devotee, he cannot even purify his kula, his family. Whereas this person can purify his family and others also. भजने रमध्य श्रेष्ठ नव विधा भक्ति कृष्ण प्रेम कृष्ण दीते धरे महाशक्ति. So then again Chaitanya Prabhu tells, he told no, that give up your intelligence and do Shravan and Kirtan. So now he is talking about Shravan and Kirtan, importance of that. He says, Bhajane Ramadhya Shrestha Nava Vida Bhakti. Among all the different limbs of devotional service, different ways how you serve Krishna, the Navavidha, the 9 forms are the most potent, most powerful. What are these 9 forms? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada, Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma, Nivedana. These are the 9 principal forms of serving Krishna. So, among all different ways of serving Krishna, these 9 are most potent. Krishna Prema, Krishna Dite Dhare Mahashakti. They have Mahashakti to give Krishna. तारमध्य सर्वश्रेष्ठ नाम संकीर्तन निरपराधे नाम लैले आय प्रेम धन. And among these 9 also, Sarvashrestha, the topmost is Nama Sankirtan. Chanting the holy name of Krishna are most powerful. So therefore, this is our most important devotional service, to regularly chant. But niraparadhe. Niraparadhe naam laile paye prema dhan. We should try to chant without offenses. We should try to avoid offenses. If we do that, niraparad, the moment we will become niraparad, the chanting will become niraparad, then we will get premadhan, Krishna premadhan. Then we will get Krishna prem. Now, Jiva Goswami, Prabhupada is quoting Jiva Goswami's commentary on this. Let's read that. Chanting the holy name is the chief means of attaining love of Godhead. This chanting or devotion service does not depend on any paraphernalia, nor on one's having taken birth in a good family. By humility and meekness, one attracts the attention of Krishna. By humility and meekness, one attracts the attention of Krishna. This is the quality which is most primary quality to attract Krishna's attention. If one has a pride, then Krishna will not be attracted. He may chant, he may know so many shlokas, he may do so many things, but if there is a pride, then Krishna is not at all pleased with that. That is the verdict of all the Vedas. Therefore, if one becomes very humble and meek, he can easily attain the lotus feet of Krishna in this age of Kali. Very easily he can attain. This is the only requirement. He should not become pride. Very humble, and in humble state of Krishna, in humble state only you can actually chant Krishna's name pure. Because with heart you can then beg to Krishna, Krishna, I want your service, please engage me in your service. If you have pride, you will not be able to beg in earnestness. Therefore your chanting will not be pure. And it will not be continuous. When you really are feeling that I need Krishna's mercy, without that I am gone, I have no hope, no other hope, then naturally you would chant continuously and you will chant with all feeling. That is pure chanting. So therefore, this is the requirement for chanting purely. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sada hari. That's why. So Chaitanya Prabhu says another verse, Yei rupe laile nama prem upajaye tahar lakshana suno Swarup Ramarai. Hey Swarup Ramarai, here, what is the way how one can chant purely? What are the symptoms of a person who can chant purely? And then he recites this shloka, Trinadapi sunichena. One who is having these qualities in his behavior, in his heart, then he can chant purely. So therefore, Krishna Savyasachi Goswami, the author of this says, we should, this Hare Krishna mantra is like necklace. We should wear on our neck. And the locket of that necklace should be this mantra. Trinadapi sunichena. Locket beautifies the necklace. So similarly this Trinadapi verse, it makes our chanting pure. Okay. That is a fulfillment of all great sacrifices, penances, austerities. Because when one achieves ecstatic love of Godhead, he attains the complete perfection of life. If one can chant purely, that means Aho bada shvapachato gariya yajjibagre vartate nama tumyam tepat pustacho swastharare brahmanachur nama gananti yete. On whose tongue is the holy name of Krishna purely. They have already done all sacrifices, they have read all shlokas, all shastras, they have done everything. Because the result of doing all that is to chant purely. So this is the sum and substance of all shastras, to become humble. And in that humble state of mind to chant Krishna's name. Therefore, whatever one does in executing devotional service must be accompanied by the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. This should accompany anything else you do, because this is the most potent form of serving Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna. Therefore, we stress so much on chanting the holy name. So we should practice regularly chanting the holy name and trying to avoid all the offenses. Okay? All of you are chanting regularly? Therefore, the chanting of the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, has been praised by Rupa Goswami in his Namashtaka. Then he recites one mantra, shloka for that. Similarly, Sanatana Goswami has also praised in another shloka. Some shlokas are given there. Then, etashuni sanatera hoila chamatkar prabhure na bhai mora marana vichar. And Sanatana Goswami understood Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not like my marana vichar. My idea of giving up the body does not please Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay? So immediately changed his mind. This should be our attitude. We should always try to understand whatever I am thinking, is it bona fide? Is it according to wish of my master? We should always confirm it. How we will confirm? When we regularly read Shastras, many of the things will be clear. And if something is not clear, we should go and ask our authorities. I am thinking like that. Is it correct? Will it be pleasing to Krishna? So we should confirm. Not like whatever we think. Anyway, I am a devotee, so whatever I think should be pleasing to Krishna. We should not take it so easily. We are not devotees, correct? Devotee should not think like that. सर्वज्ञ महाप्रभु निषेधिला मोरे प्रभुरा चरण धरी कहे न कहारे. सर्वज्ञ, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is सर्वज्ञ. He has prohibited me, forbid me to do this. Therefore, he fell down at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and spoke this. Thus, सर्वज्ञ कृपालु तुमी ईश्वर स्वतंत्र याइछे ना छाओ ताइछे नाची ये न काष्ठ यंत्र. Hey, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are Sarvajna. As you want me to dance, I will dance. That is the servant. I am like a Katputli. You please nachao, whatever way you want to make me dance, I will dance. This should be the attitude. This is Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita. Nimitta matram bhava Savyasachi. Hey Arjuna, you become a nimitt, an instrument in my hand. Very important concept. This is the perfection of devotional life. We should try to become perfect instrument in the hand of our Guru and Krishna. They will only use us if we are perfect instrument. If not, then why they would like to use us? So this is the perfection of the life of a devotee. That he is a perfect instrument. Perfect instrument means who is perfectly in alignment with Krishna's desire and is fully ready to execute Krishna's desire. He has no other desire except to fulfill Krishna's desire. That means he is a perfect instrument. Correct? So that is like Katputli. Katputli has no separate. Of course, we are live. Katputli is not live. So it is even more difficult. We are live, we have our own desire, mind, everything. And then also we have to become completely in tune with Krishna. Nicha adhab pamar mui pamar swabhav more jiaila tomar kiba kohe labh kiba hobe labh. I am low born. I am useless. My swabhava is useless. By keeping me alive, how will it help you? I am ready to do whatever you say, but I am not able to understand why you want me to live. I am useless. See the humility. Now see what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. પ્રભુ કહે તોમારો દેહ મોર નિજ ધન તુમી મોરે કર્યા છે આત્મસમર્પણ. You have done, you have taken my shelter, correct? You have offered yourself to me. So now you are my property. So how you can give up your body? If you have given it to me, it is not your property to give it up. Correct? So how you can give it up? So samarpan means that. Samarpan means you have no right. You have given right of your everything to your master. That is the meaning of samarpan. Parera dravya tumi kena chaha vinashite. You want to destroy others' property. Now this is my property. And you want to destroy my property. You don't have right on that. Dharma dharma vichara kiba napar karite. Why you are not considering whether it is dharma or adharma? To destroy others' property is dharma or adharma? Adharma. So why you are not considering dharma dharma? Then, now listen. Tomar sharira mora pradhan sadhan. E sharire sadhinu ami bahu prayojan. Your body is my principal tool. Is my principal instrument. So, a devotee always should feel I am useless. And such a person, Krishna feels is of some use. Right? Because one is who is humble, that actually is the qualification that Krishna can use him. One who is humble and in that attitude is willing to act in any way that Krishna wants. That means then Krishna can use him. Right? So therefore, Chaitanya Prabhu considered Sanatana Goswami to be Pradhan Sadhan. Ei Sharire Sadhimu Ami Bahu Prayojan. By this body, I will fulfill so many desires. So Krishna already had, Chaitanya Prabhu already had in his mind what I want Sanatan to do. So Krishna is thinking of his devotees. How will I engage him in service? Correct? Bhakta Bhakti Krishna Prema Tattvera Nidhar Vaishnavera Kritya Ara Vaishnava Achar. Krishna Bhakti Krishna Prema Seva Pravartan Lupta Tirtha Uddhar Ar Vairagya Shikshan. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enumerates these are all the things which I want to accomplish through you. Bhakta Bhakti Krishna Prema Tattvera Nidhar. Establishing the principles of Bhakta Bhakti Krishna Prema. I want you to establish these principles. Therefore, then Sanatana Goswami wrote a book, Hari Bhakti Vilas. How he could write the book? Because Krishna empowered him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered him. So therefore in devotion service, whatever we are able to do is only if Krishna empowers us. We should not think that I did this. I preached. I made him devotee. I conducted this program. So many people came because I arranged so nicely. I managed so nicely. We should never think like that. In devotional service, whatever we do, if there is success, it is simply because Krishna empowered us. In devotional service, everything is happening on a transcendental platform. It is not happening materially. And even materially, actually there also Krishna only does. Without Krishna's permission, we cannot even move this finger. This brain will not work. It is not working because of us. So actually always Krishna is only in control. But in spiritual works, Krishna personally does it. In material things, Krishna does it through Maya Shakti and other. But in Krishna consciousness, Krishna personally acts through us. So he empowers. And then there is no limit to how much Krishna can empower. So individually we cannot accomplish anything, but if we become recipients of Krishna mercy, we can do anything. That's also true. So therefore, by mercy of Krishna, we can do what otherwise is not possible for us. Then Vaishnavera Kritya Ara Vaishnava Achar. What is Vaishnava Achar? How? All these things you enumerate. You establish them. Sorry. Very bad cough. Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Prem, Seva Pravartan, all these things. What is Seva, how to do it, Krishna Prem, Krishna Bhakti, all these things you establish. Lupta Tirtha, in Vrindavan, I want you to look those Tirtha which got hidden, lost to the eyes, to the sight, or Vairagya Shiksha. And what is Vairagya? By your example, personal example. I want you to establish all these things. Nijapriya Sthan Mora Mathura Vrindavan Taha Eta Dharma Chahi Karite Pracharan. I want all these things to be preached in Mathura Vrindavan, which are very dear place of me. Matar Ajnara Ami Vashinila Chale Taha Dharma Shikshate Nahi Nijabale. By my mother's order, I am here in Puri. I cannot go to Mathura Vrindavan. Therefore, I want you to go on my behalf and do this. So this is how Krishna, if one is instrument, very good instrument, then Krishna will fulfill his desires, he will empower us, and he will use us. And then that is our perfection of life, if Krishna kindly can use us in his service. So this is some very nice, important things we can learn from this conversation between Sanatana Goswami and Chaitanya. So I'll end here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Those who want to go, if you have some urgent work you want to go, you can go. Or if there is any question, we can discuss for some time.
So about that, Sanatana Goswami is so humble, and the way he is answering God, and he wants to give up his body, so he just receives this. So that humbleness, seeing that it seems that if we become humble, then God will be merciful to us.
Lord will become?
Show his mercy to us. He will also be merciful to us. But can this humbleness come artificially if we try to become humble? How this humility will come?
Humbleness means to understand that we are very insignificant. Humbleness is not about how I speak, how I sit, how I walk. That is not the essential component of humility. Essential component is this understanding that I am insignificant and I am servant of Krishna. That is what is meant by humility. I am nothing else. I am just servant and I am very insignificant. Krishna may kindly use me. So, we are talking of this understanding, this thought. So, artificially means what? We have to contemplate on this, that this is the truth. And our mind will always say something else. No, actually you are also very important, you are also so big, this is your accomplishment, this is your great. Mind will keep on telling us this. And then with our intelligence we say, no, this is not humility, this is not correct. And pray to Krishna, Krishna, these thoughts are coming, my mind is rascal, please purify it. Let me be placed in this understanding, in this consciousness that I am your servant, that's all. So that way we should try and practically serve Krishna and don't try to act on the platform of false ego. Like, for example, अपनी बड़ाई मत करो. When you do something, see, I did this, without me it was not possible. So when we act like that, when we speak like that, then we are nourishing our false ego. So don't indulge in that. Engage in serving Krishna more and more. By serving Krishna, that concept that I am servant will become strengthened. So all these things are the real process of developing humility. When you say artificial, what exactly can be some examples? Artificially trying to be humble means?
In the talking way or
That is not the essential components of humility. External this thing. One can be, but within he can be full of pride that I am the most humble person. There is no one like me. So that will not help. But that doesn't mean we should see that I will not be artificially humble, so I will always behave like harsh and this, so that I am not artificially being humble. That is also. So, just be natural what you are. And yes, if naturally you are harsh and like that, then that is not good. Better to be artificially, soft spoken than to be naturally harsh spoken. Even if you have to practice artificially that, it's better than naturally to be harsh like that. But that is not end of it. If you are artificially trying to be, but you have to see what is in your heart. Ultimately, that is to be worked on.
in this point we could consider that I am insignificant. And Krishna is the one who is doing everything. And that shows that he feels helpless. I'm not doing anything.
Yes.
God is doing it. Automatically that humbleness comes in.
Yes.
But to understand this and come to this stage, it is only possible by mercy of somebody.
Yeah.
So this humbleness, if we meditate on that or we think on that, but if some mercy is not coming from
No,
some,
mercy will come when we attract mercy. So when one is contemplating, when suppose now we heard, we should be humble. And then one is contemplating. Yes, I always think like this. I am so great, I am big. I always think about like this. This is not good. I should give it up. So then, this will attract Krishna's mercy because we have developed a desire to give up false ego. Okay, and then you also, whenever you are about to act in out of false ego, then you restrict yourself. Okay? Suppose you are about to act, hey, क्या समझते हैं अपने को, क्या हो तुम, अरे मेरे को जानते नहीं. So you immediately restrict yourself. क्या पागल बन रहा है. So then that also will attract mercy. So in this way we gradually attract mercy. So it is not artificial. That is the way how mercy. It's not that we do nothing and mercy will just flow in. We have to do our bit. It will happen by mercy. But we have to do our bit to attract the mercy. So that much we should do. What is required to attract the mercy.
in general platform, general people seem for in general our customer activities, it seems that mercy is coming through a personality who is very heavy. And when he is there, then he, by his help, that happens comes in us.
So
And who is there?
ultimately it will, ultimately by mercy only it will come. That doesn't mean that we don't try. Our trial is also to attract the mercy. It will become natural by mercy. Now we are trying to control our mind and senses, for example. What is in our hand? We are not purposefully indulging in sense gratification, for example. Correct? And struggle is going on. Okay? And when Krishna is seeing that, he is trying his best. So, he will show mercy, and after some time, it will become natural. The thoughts of sense gratification itself will go away. Then it become natural. Okay? So, ultimately, it got accomplished by Mercy only. But to attract mercy, we have to do our bit. Our bit is whatever is in our hand. In our hand is to struggle, to try. If we don't do that, mercy only will help. So let me enjoy seeing here and there. Anyway, mercy whenever it will come, it will come. So by that, mercy will never come because it was in your hand and you did not do it. So that Krishna will see you are just simply trying to cheat me. Right? So both things have to be there. Whatever is in my hand, whatever is expected of me by Krishna, I should do that. Understanding that by my doing itself, it's not going to be accomplished fully. Ultimately, it is only by that mercy. My effort is simply to attract the mercy of Krishna. With that understanding, one should try.
Is it correct to say that Lord is there and his representative is there? Guru. And Guru means heavy. And we are there. So that mercy, we are praying for that. We are working for that from our side sincerely. And that mercy will come through this representative of the Lord.
Yeah.
Who is heavy.
Yeah.
And behavior. With such personality, only the mercy will flow.
But mercy will flow through the representative of Krishna because he only has that channel. Mercy will flow. And yes, Krishna's representative is heavy because he is heavy with the realizations, heavy with Krishna praying. So, yes, he is heavy in that sense. Heavy doesn't necessarily mean he is always, that heavy doesn't mean that. Heavy means heavy with knowledge, heavy with sincerity. He doesn't accept any insincere behavior. In that sense, heavy. Anything else? So many hands together.
Prabhu, you talked about bhajan. I've also heard the term, this difference between bhajan and nirjan bhajan, which is Bhakti Maharaj talked about. So I was confused between what is the difference between nirjan bhajan and sadhana. And there is some Vaishnavas who also say that I'll not do preaching now because I need to work on my sadhana. Maybe sometimes we also think that because maybe we think our sadhana is not adequate enough to start preaching. Is that nirjan bhajan or how can we?
Nirjan bhajan is a service rendered by devotees, pure devotees, who are called bhajananandis. These are very advanced devotees whom Krishna wants to be engaged in direct service of Krishna, directly participating in pastimes, not that much in preaching activities. That is by Krishna's desire. Okay, they are so powerful that just by having darshan of them, so many people become devotees. Okay, these are called bhajananandis. But there are others who imitate them, thinking that they are revered by everyone as very great people. I also will become like him. So they also try to do. Though they are not qualified for that. So when Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Maharaj is pointing out to those who are trying to imitate them. Tumi ki shera Vaishnava. What type of Vaishnava you are? He says, Pratisthasha Asha. Actually, you have a desire for Pratishtha. For that, you want to do Nirjan Bhajan. Those who are really doing Nirjan Bhajan, they don't have any such desire. They are completely detached. Completely detached. Like you see the example of Gaur Kishordas Babaji Maharaj, Vamshidas Babaji Maharaj. You read their lives. They are just not at all interested in anything. They will eat mud. to live. That's all basically. Their mood is like they are in separation, they are burning. So they are qualified. Then there are another set of devotees who are called Goshthyandis. Goshthyandis also can be at par with them, advanced. It is not that Goshthyandis have to be. Goshthyandis, Krishna specifically wants them to preach. That is a general description for acharyas when they are in this world, to preach. Okay, some of them Krishna want them to be just bhajan. So these Goshthyandis, they are preachers, and then there can be also different levels of preachers. They can be pure devotees like bhajanandis, or they can be also madhyamadhikaris who are sadhakas. Sadhakas necessarily have to be only this. Goshthyandis. Bhajanandis only, highest platform devotees only can do that. And this preaching can be done by highest level devotees also and madhyam also. So, when the second part of your question, thought comes that first let me do my sadhana, and then when I am ready, I am ready to preach. Actually, preaching also, we should take it as our sadhana. There is no complete compartmentalization between sadhana and seva. It is not correct. There are not two compartments, my sadhana and my seva. Because my seva also is my sadhana. Seva also helps me to advance. So this is also sadhana. Okay? And my sadhana is also seva. By performing good sadhana, I will become eligible to render service properly. So in this way, this is also seva in that sense. So they are not two completely two different things. But there should be also a balance between these two things. There should be sufficient hearing, then only we can sufficiently preach. If we are healthy, if we are in good Krishna consciousness, then only we can inspire others to take up Krishna consciousness. So we should not neglect our spiritual health for the sake of preaching. At the same time, we cannot be just preaching is useless, neglect, and just be concerned about sadhana, because then sadhana bhi nahi hogi. You will not be able to do your good also. If you have that attitude that preaching is, I want to become, that attitude is not pleasing to Krishna. So both should go. And preaching, yes, before preaching, some understanding has to be there, then only you can preach. But it doesn't necessarily has to be like when I am perfect, then I will preach. Because a devotee never thinks that he is perfect. So that day will never come when you think that now I am perfect, now I will preach. That means you are not fit for preaching. So therefore, both things go simultaneously, hearing and chanting. Now, this preaching can be taken up at that level where one is able to do. So one can just, whatever he has heard, he has to repeat. I only know this, that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Or we just distribute books. That I may not be well versed with that everything, but at least I know this book is Bhagavad Gita, this is Shastra, this will help you. I am reading it, I am getting benefited, so please read this. This much preaching we can do. And a pure devotee can also do this preaching. Book distribution is not just restricted to early devotees. It can be done by the topmost devotee as well as the early devotee. But especially like accepting disciples, this is only possible for advanced devotee, this level of preaching. Correct? So like that, preaching methodology may vary, but it doesn't has to wait for some time or some advancement. Like that. Clear?
It will take time. Maybe I'll ask Prabhu.
Okay.
Prabhu, so when we do chanting, we should attentively do chanting. But you said that we should do chanting with humbleness. So what to do, like chant while humbly, like how to add this humbleness is chanting?
Humbleness is something in your consciousness, all pervading. It is the basic background which is there. Whatever you are doing, it is in the background. It is not something that only at the time of chanting we have to be humble. We have to be humble always. It's an attitude. Humbleness is an attitude. With that attitude, we should chant. It is not that something, I am humble, Krishna, Krishna, I am humble, I should be humble. Not that you have to think like that. But this humbleness is about general attitude. So, yes, Krishna, I am your servant, please engage me in your service. So, this is our prayer. So, this prayer means it's a prayer out of humility, humbleness. Correct? So, that is inbuilt in it. And throughout the day, every day, throughout the life, we should also act in that way to serve Krishna. We should engage in serving Krishna. That is humility. That's all. It's not something that you have to think at that time of chanting. Not like that. It's a basic consciousness.
One point came of preaching. This preaching, many times it happens that some students, new students who come, or recently when our devotees they met, some new devotees in training, and the idea comes that give some non-devotional matter to the people first, non-devotional matter.
Like
Yoga classes, or teach them some material subjects, like computer science, some subjects.
why?
In this way, and when they come, gradually we make relationship with them, and then we start teaching them about Krishna, something like this. So, new people when they come, they also ask this question.
What
What
question?
is wrong?
What question they ask?
First give them something.
Means they ask or they are telling us
They tell us
that why
if
don't
you
you
do like this?
Why don't you do like this?
uh,
New people come and they tell us, why don't you do like this?
If you do like this, many people will come.
So first thing is
What is wrong?
how many people will come has to be learned from, not from the new people, but from the experienced person, isn't it? A new person is new himself. What he knows about preaching? He is not even preached himself. What experience he has of preaching? So preaching has to be learned from a preacher. So we have to, how people will come, how people will take to Krishna consciousness, who is the best person to learn it from? Prabhupada. So it is not that from Prabhupada we have to only learn the philosophy, and then how to present that philosophy we will make our own way. Correct. We have to learn from Prabhupada the philosophy as well as how to present the philosophy. He is our guide for everything. Who can be a better preacher than Prabhupada? He has also taught us how to preach. Correct. So we should learn from Prabhupada how to preach. So let's look into Prabhupada's instructions on how we should preach. And that way we should preach. So in general, we should preach. Preaching means preaching about Krishna. Okay. Only in circumstances where people are so averse to Krishna that you cannot directly preach to them at all. Like for example, in some time back in China and all, the situation was such that people, Buddhists and there's such is one that the concept of God itself in some language it is not there. Thailand, this concept of God is not there at all. So sinful and so away from that. Or there are some very big restrictions from the government. You cannot do this and that. In such cases, there is a case for utilizing this indirect approach, that first tell something indirect and then introduce Krishna consciousness. But it is not a regular way of to preach. Whenever it is possible to speak directly, that is always to be preferred.
For new people, like, what is wrong in that thing if we say just a few words or one to line so that they can understand immediately? In that approach.
What is wrong?
Yeah.
Wrong is It is not what Prabhupada has taught us, first of all. That can be a very simple thing to understand. Could Prabhupada not do it? It's so simple that we are thinking that it should be done, it will have good effect. Was Prabhupada not intelligent enough to think about it? When we are able to think about it, why Prabhupada did not think about it? Logically, if it makes sense, it would have made sense to Prabhupada also. Prabhupada was very smart, materially also, correct? So, but still Prabhupada did not do. And then rather Prabhupada forbade us to do this. In many instructions he says, we are not here to appease people. We have to tell straightforwardly what is Krishna's message. There are so many instructions on that. So, therefore, we get to learn. And then, if we want to really understand what is wrong, because by that way, people will remain with us till we are speaking of other things that attracts them. We are thinking, okay, I will tell tomorrow, not today. Because today if I tell, he will go away. When that tomorrow will come? Because more you develop relationship, you fear. अरे बाबा इसको बता दूंगा तो कहीं भाग नहीं जाएगा. So that goes on prolonging. Second thing, always in a crowd there are people at different levels. Correct? So whom you will tell that? In classes you will not tell because there are always new people, these people, old people, everything is together. Correct? So practically what will happen in your preaching, it will never happen. You will never tell clearly because you will always be, there are new people, they will run away. So practically what will happen is, it will just go on and on and on and on and on. And then if privately you will tell someone, see actually, I tell you the truth. This is all bogus. This is the reality. Then, if a person is really intelligent and sincere, he will say, so you are making fool of me so much so long. If that was all foolish, then why did you not tell me from the beginning? If a person is really sincere, he will tell you are a cheater. You should tell me from the beginning. Or, if a person is insincere, then he may come up like this, Achha, like that. I am not interested in this new thing, Baba. Okay, Tata Baba. And he will go back. So the energy which you spend so far goes in vain. There is no guarantee that when you will tell him the truth, he will stay with you. There is no guarantee. So there is a good risk that you will invest energy and time and it will go in vain. Correct? Whereas, if you tell the truth, telling the truth doesn't mean you just hammer him that, hey, come here. No. You have to surrender to Krishna, stop eating this meat, otherwise I am not going to see your face again, you don't come here. That is what we don't do. We are just telling them the principles. Serve Krishna, and not that very entrance first day we tell them, no, this and that. What you should do? This is Krishna. He said, why Krishna? I don't think Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, then we have to explain him. Why? Logically. From Shastra. If that person is a demon, he will become angry. I don't accept this. Okay, it's your choice. But this is the truth. We cannot change the message to appease him. But we are trying to explain it. So if there is some sincerity and piety, then he will not go away. But if he is really demoniac, he will go away. And it is good that he went. If he is demoniac. Filter out ho gaya na. Otherwise that person we would have maintained for so much time. And after some time then, because it is so demoniac, it's difficult to change. So better in the beginning itself they are gone. So like that there are so many things. Another thing is, by speaking straightforward, we are speaking to us also. So we remain pure. Because we remain hearing that what we are preaching. But if suppose we make everything, suppose somebody says, Shiva is God, we will worship Shiva. Yeah, no problem. Let's worship Shiva also, no problem. So then we are also hearing that, no? We are also preaching to us. Okay, let's enjoy today chanting Hare Krishna and doing this. Okay, let's do like that. So we also have to engage in those activities. So they may also affect us. That indirect thing can affect us also. Okay, we'll end here. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.